प्रणवस्वरूपा पाहि गजानन विघ्ननाशा विनायका।
प्रणवस्वरूपा पाहि गजानन विघ्ननाशा विनायका।
प्रणवस्वरूपा काञ्चनवर्णाय जटाजूटधराय च तप्तकाञ्चनवर्णाय जटाजूटधराय च दिव्यभस्माङ्गरागाय दिव्यभस्माङ्गरागाय साई रामाय ते नमः साई रामाय ते नमः। राम राम साई राम सीता राम राधे श्याम
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 राम साई राम सीता राम राधे श्याम
राम राम साई राम सीता राम राधे श्याम
राम राम साई राम सीताराम राधे श्याम
राम राम साई राम सीता राम राधे श्याम
राम राम साई राम सीताराम राधे श्याम
दशरथ नंदन सीता राम वसुदेव नंदन राधे श्याम ईश्वराम्बनन्दना ईश्वराम्बनन्दना भक्तिपुरीश्वर साई राम भक्तिपुरीश्वर साई राम 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 साई राम सीता राम राधे श्याम
हरि ओम नारायण शयना पद्मनाभा नारायण भुजगशयना पद्मनाभा नारायण शान्ताकारा भुजगशयना नारायणा पद्मनाभा नारायणा
Hare
invoking the blessings of the divine and offering our salutations to Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai. Respected elders, esteemed guests, noted educationists and academicians from various institutions who have gathered from around the world, brothers and sisters, and all those joining us live, Sai Ram, Namaste, and a very good evening. Welcome to the valedictory session of the Global Education Conference 2023 with the theme, Educating the Heart.
We would first like to welcome our dignitaries seated on the dais. Our chief guest this evening, Swami Atmapriyananda, Pro-Chancellor, Swami Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Educational and Research Institute. Professor J.S. Rajput, noted educationist and former Director, National Council of Educational Research and Training.
Swami Sarvotamananda, Vice Chancellor, Swami Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Educational and Research Institute. Professor Terence Lovat, Professor Emeritus, University of Newcastle from Australia.
The leadership team from the Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, Sri B.N. Narasimhamurthy, Revered Chancellor. Dr. Srikanthamurthy, Vice Chancellor. Our collective love and gratitude to Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, founder, Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, the vision and light behind this conference. We will commence this evening's proceedings with Vedic invocation by the University Girls Vedic students, and they shall be chanting the Medha Siddhartha Mantra.
एवं मां ब्रह्मचारिणः धातरायन् प्रजात स्वाहा प्रतिवेशोऽसि प्रमाभाहि प्रमापद्यस्व ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु।
Over the last 2 days, we have had discussions and deliberations on various aspects of integrating values into different spheres of education, from K-12 to higher education to medical education, and the importance of human values for mental well-being. There were inspiring talks by luminaries who brought to light avenues for change, for collaboration, and global transformation. We will now have a summary reading of today's sessions by Ms. Divyashri. She is currently pursuing her master's in English. Ms. Divyashri, please.
Good evening and welcome to the Valedictory session of the Global Education Conference on Educating the Heart, presented by the Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence. The 2 technical sessions this morning brought together on stage eminent educationists who have worked on integrating human values in education, thereby paving a pathway to nurture better citizens of the world. The first session of the day, chaired by Sri B.N. Narasimhamurthy, began with Sri Sarvottamananda, Vice Chancellor of the Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Educational and Research Institute, India, who explained how good practice leaders could inspire a whole generation of students towards character building and character transformation. Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Dato Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Rector of the International Islamic University, Malaysia, then elaborated on instilling social responsibility, education the heart, and humanizing education by addressing as many sustainable development goals as possible. Thereafter, Dr. Zainal Abidin Sanusi, an associate professor from the International Islamic University, Malaysia, shared the operational approach adopted by their university in order to implement this new educational ecosystem to promote social responsibility in students. This was followed by a video message from Dr. Craig Sheely, Executive Director, International Beliefs and Values Institute, USA, who illustrated on values-based education as a path towards fulfilling the UN Sustainable Development Goals to achieve sustainable development and sustainable selves. Professor Terence Lowart from Australia then shared his experience of adopting values-based pedagogy in Australian schools. He noted that teachers have a keen understanding that values pedagogy works, and his large-scale study results stands as a perfect testimony to that. Thereafter, Mrs. Rekha Ramachandran, founder and secretary of Disha Bharat, reminded everyone about how Gurukula education was built on the foundation of Dharma, nurturing both the inner and outer dimension, thereby building confidence alongside compassion. The second technical session on the theme Values-Based Medical Education, Bringing Compassion to the Healthcare System was chaired by Dr. Sujata Rathod, Director of Medical Education, Government of Karnataka. The first speaker was Dr. B.N. Gangadhar, Professor Emeritus, Department of Integrative Medicine, National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences. While discussing the importance and urgency of developing service-mindedness in medical education, he elaborated on how seeing patients as God would ultimately encourage better self-esteem in doctors. Dr. Anita Saxena, Vice Chancellor, Pandit B.D. Sharma University of Health Sciences, urged medical professionals to embrace compassion and empathy in their medical practice, saying that while a good physician treats the disease, a great physician treats the patient. Thereafter, the next speaker, Dr. M. Srinivas, Director of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Delhi, shared his insights through a video message on upholding competence without compromising compassion in medical education. The final speaker, Dr. Ignacio Leones, Chief Pediatric Cardiac Surgeon at the Children's General Hospital at Buenos Aires, Argentina, emphasized that it is imperative for doctors to show compassion by seeing patients as their own family members, since compassion is the most crucial element in medical practice. After lunch, the final technical session brought together reputed speakers addressing the topic Mental Health in Students, chaired by Dr. Jane Hawkes. Ms. Dilshat Kurana, Head Counselor of Empower India, presented her outlook on shattering the stigma and encouraging conversation. While defining mental health as an entire spectrum of conditions, she said creating awareness is vital and physical and mental health are intrinsically connected. Professor Naveen Kumar from the Department of Psychology, Delhi University, advocated mindful happiness every moment of life by charting out a multi-pronged approach. The next speaker, Dr. Shruti Neeraj, Senior Clinical Psychologist at Sri Madhusudan Sai Institute of Medical Sciences and Research, compared empathy with compassion and observed that the benefits of compassion include improving self-esteem and building self-resilience, which lead to overall well-being. Mr. Nikhil Singla, Country Director at Emory University, spoke on the role of teacher-student relationship in students' well-being. He said the three key qualities of faith, patience, and resilience are critical to robust mental health and progress. Dr. Jane Hawkes, an international trainer in values-based education and the Inner Curriculum UK, then shared her experiential knowledge and likened the various shades of her personality to the different Russian dolls nestled inside each other, with the actual self being like the inner diamond held deep within the innermost doll. The final speaker of the session, Dr. Georgina Brunton, a child psychiatrist from Australia, delved into the interplay between the child and his or her environment and how the various connections and the relationships impact a child's personality. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you, sister, for recounting the day's summary. Through the various sessions, we have collectively discussed, deliberated on, and gained insights into various designs that are being implemented for educating the heart within every student's learning environment. Together, we're also committed to making this a reality by sharing these valuable insights to everyone in an effort to grow together as a society. The Be Good, See Good, Do Good is a values education book series, a humble attempt by the Sri Sathya Sai Lokaseva Gurukulam group of institutions to compile learning resources in a structured manner aligned to the 5+3+3+4 pedagogy of New Education Policy 2020 that can equip children with a proper understanding of human values for their easy integration into daily lives.
Values cannot be taught, they can only be caught. This forms the sum and substance of our approach to values-based education. 10 values are discussed through stories, examples, and learning exercises, and each chapter in a given book centers around one human value that the student can understand and relate to. Apart from the 5 universal human values of truth, righteousness, peace, love, and non-violence, 5 more values which are needed to navigate life have been included: patriotism, spirit of oneness, spirit of service, environmental responsibility, and awareness of body, mind, and heart. It is hoped that children will develop a support system of human values that they can fall back on at any time.
Every chapter also ends with a fun with family activity requiring the children to work with their parents, family members, guardians, or caretakers. Active involvement of stakeholders outside the school environment is essential to make the practice of values sustainable for children in their daily lives. This also ensures they all grow together within their social cultural environment on the foundation of human values. The assessment forms in every book are designed to help students introspect and implement the learnings from the book.
We will now have a short video about the value education books. May we have the video, please?
Goodness and happiness is the innate nature of every child. What is that which makes the child so happy and alive all the time that anybody who comes in touch with him or her turns into a child themselves and transforms? It is values. The value of love without judgment, speech without manipulation, actions without competition, sharing without selfishness, and kindness without any expectation. A child, so innocent and pure, spends most of the time during the crucial years of growing with teachers at school and parents at home. Hence, it is paramount that we pay attention to how the teachers and parents can preserve and nurture the goodness of this child. The Prashanti Balamandira Trust, which is a pioneer in the field of values-based education for more than 40 years now, has espoused the cause of human values passionately by practicing it in their own schools, which is currently spread across various districts of Karnataka, Telangana, and Tamil Nadu as 27 campuses. With immense love for children and concern for their future, the Trust has taken a resolute step to take values-based education to every school in India through the curation of 15 values books for children from 3 years to 16 years of age, that is, from kindergarten to grade 12, titled Be Good, See Good, and Do Good. 10 values: truth, righteous conduct, peace, love and non-violence, patriotism, spirit of oneness, spirit of service, environmental responsibility, and awareness of body, mind, and heart, have been elucidated with greater depth based on the age of the child by simulating the child's characteristics at every level. Interesting stories, role modeling, and activities that calls for participation even by the parents and the community is a pedagogy adopted. Assessment methodologies have been introduced through case studies, peer review, observation of behavioral changes in children, and documenting positive impact created on the surroundings. For children, we give ourselves. This is the motto of the Prashanti Balamandira Trust, and we are here to embrace every child as our own. To provide, protect, and nurture them into becoming noble and able citizens of the country is the responsibility of each one of us. For we are the proud shareholders of the single greatest wealth, our children.
May we now call upon the team to present the books to Swami Atmapriyanandaji. The books range from kindergarten to grade 12. The first set includes 3 sets of books for the kindergarten, that is ages 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and 5 to 6, and for grade 1 and 2. The second set includes books for grade 3, 4, and 5. The third set includes books for grades 6, 7, and 8. The fourth set includes books for grade 9, 10, 11, and 12. It is my pleasure to share that these books It is my pleasure to share that these books are already available for download on the Sri Sathya Sai Lokaseva Gurukulam website, absolutely free of cost. And they can also be customized as per the need and context of the geographical location. The team dedicates this book series to all the children of the world who will benefit and embody these values and usher in a better future. We will now have the address by our chief guest. Swami Atmapriyananda Ji is the Pro-Chancellor of Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda University, a multi-campus university trying to actualize Swami Vivekananda's educational vision and devoted to teaching and research in a variety of unique areas. He received his PhD in theoretical physics involving elementary particle theory from the University of Madras. He joined the Ramakrishna Order of Monks in 1978, inspired by Ramakrishna Vivekananda's ideology of spiritual liberation combined with service to humanity. He has dedicated to over 4 decades to the cause of education. It is my honor to welcome Swami Atmapriyananda Ji to address the gathering.
I always ask the organizers, how much time do I have? And usually people say, you come from so far away, please go on speaking. I will begin with a lighter note. Years ago, I attended a Vice Chancellor's conference in Bangkok. The Chancellor of Oxford University was inaugurating. He was a very witty and intelligent person, extraordinarily learned. He said, I went to an international conference and asked the audience, how long should I speak? Everybody said, sir, you are so learned, you have come so far, only for our sake. Please do speak as long as you can, as long as you like, but we are leaving after half an hour. That's a joke I always remember. So let me begin with our standard traditional Shanti mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. May the Supreme Being protect us both, the teacher and the disciple, by revealing to us the true nature of knowledge. May the Supreme Being protect us both, the teacher and the disciple, by revealing to us the application of that knowledge. May we both, the teacher and the disciple, endeavor to cultivate knowledge. May the knowledge that we cultivate and the wisdom that we have be illuminative and effective. May there be no dissension or disharmony between us. Om, peace, peace, peace. This is a translation based on Shankara's commentary, because avatu and palayatu are mentioned twice. Sahana avatu, sahano bhunaktu means palayatu. Shankara raises the question, why is this word appearing twice? He says, avatu means protect me by showing the real nature of knowledge. And second is, protect me by revealing the application of that knowledge. Mere theory won't do. It has to be applied in practical, everyday life for the good of humanity. I'm extremely happy to be present here in this very august and holy assembly in the presence of most revered Madhusudan Sai Maharaj, who has been the guiding spirit behind this and carrying the torch which was lit by Bhagavan Sathya Sai Baba at the inspiration of the divine. So he's so loving, and he called me repeatedly to be able to come, although I had some health issues, but by God's grace I overcame all of them. Now, talking of values, this is the constantly being discussed everywhere in education particularly. And Swami Vivekananda is trying to find out how they can improve themselves, their prospects. Prospects is a word which is very often used and misused these days. And added to that prospects, there is another P called placement. Everybody goes, what will be my placement? What is the package that I'm going to get? The prospects, placement, and package are the three Ps, three demons which are now killing education. If you tell any boy or girl, they will say, oh, these are oldish ideas. They don't work anymore. So great men like Swami Vivekananda and Sathya Sai Baba came to the world to prove that these ideas do work even now. Not only do they work, they work much more effectively. Swami Vivekananda also had the three Ps. He said infinite purity, infinite patience, and infinite perseverance. Nothing happens by talk, and nothing happens if you lose heart. The heart is being discussed now, the educating the heart. Heart is a very interesting phenomenon. There are three kinds of heart which is spoken of in our ancient scriptures and the modern teachers. One is the physical heart, physiological heart, which the cardiologist takes care of, called the adibhautika heart. And the other is the emotional heart, the pranic heart, in which we feel love, we feel energy, we feel so much of emotion towards everybody. The third is the spiritual heart, which is spoken of in our scriptures as the Hridaya Akasha, Dahara Akasha, and so on. And wisdom comes from the heart and not from the brain. This was discovered thousands of years ago in India, and therefore the Hridaya is repeatedly spoken. And the Bhagavad Gita, which is the essence of the Upanishads, Sarvo Upanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandana, it says the mind should be merged into the heart. A very significant statement. Sarvadvarani sanyamya mano hridi niruddhya cha. Look at each word. Sarvadvarani sanyamya, all the openings through which the mind goes outward, they have to be restrained and taken within. Avritta chakshur amritatvam icchan, as Kathopanishad would say, and placed where the mind has to be taken and merged into the heart. The word used is very significant. Mano hridi niruddhya. Niruddhya means arresting the mind in the heart. The mind which is restless has to be arrested in the heart. Concentration is often spoken about, and our children say we can't concentrate. Our students also say. Then I ask them a question. India-Pakistan World Cup final, just 3 balls and 6 runs. Will anybody ask you to concentrate on the television? Is it necessary? Because your whole mind is being drawn there because the heart is there. Christ famously said, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Where is your treasure? What do you treasure in life? What do you think is most important in life? Your heart will be simply drawn there. Sri Ramakrishna, in a very simple parable, he says, suppose there is a thief in a corner of a room, and there's a thin partition, on the other side there's so much of gold. If the thief is aware that the gold is available in the corner of the other corner of the room, do you think he will sleep? Do you have to say, oh thief, please concentrate on the gold which is the other side? Why? Because that is his treasure. First of all, our children should know what is your treasure. Is it in money? Is it in fame? Is it in worldly enjoyment? Or whether it is something higher? This was the question which was posed in the Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad, the Nachiketa is so important for children because Nachiketa was like all of you, the children here. He was a teenager. Tam hukumaram santam dakshinasu niyamanasu shraddha avivesha. Shankara says, Kumaram means a teenager. Nachiketa is being tempted by Yama with ever so many things. You will be amazed if you listen to the kind of temptation. Shatayusha putra pautran vrinishva bahun pashun hasti hiranyamashvan bhumer mahadayatanam vrinishva swayam chajiva sharado yavadichasi. Finally he says, oh Nachiketa, I'll give you a blank check. Any amount you write there. But please don't ask me about Atmavidya. Atmavidya is so precious, it can't be sold, it can't be purchased. It is given to a person who really seeks it with tremendous eagerness. And Nachiketa was given all this, but his treasure was in Atmavidya. Why? What is the dearest in life? We love something which is dearest to us. What is the dearest? Upanishads clearly said, the dearest is your own self. The higher self is the most dear for you. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Yajnavalkya teaches Maitreyi, Nava are patyu kamaya patipriyo bhavati atmanastu kamaya patipriyo bhavati nava are sarvasya kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati atma are drashtavya shrotavyo mantavyo rididhyasitavya. It is not because of the wife that the husband loves the wife, because of the self, the Atman. It is not because everything is loved, but because you find the Atman there. This has been the eternal message of the Upanishad. This Atman, you have to hear about it, Shrotavyaha, you have to reflect upon this, Mantavyaha and Nididhyasitavyaha. Reflection may be at the level of the Manomaya and the Vijnanamaya. Nididhyasana is something which comes from the heart. The heart is so vital, the purity of the heart is stressed, and the heart, Swami Vivekananda says, love opens the most impossible gates. What will you do with reason or constantly quarreling about a particular word here and there, the polemical kind of literature which was developed in India in the medieval times? But it is the heart that opens the most impossible gates. Everybody understands the heart. Even animals understand the heart. The heart has to be chastened through purity and unselfishness. And anybody doing good, everywhere here, goodness is reigning, goodness is being talked about and discussed and written everywhere. How teachers can influence little children. Just one more story about my own life, I'll tell you and stop here. When I just passed out of class 10, we were just 14, 15 years old at that time. So we went to a teacher and said, sir, please write something so that I'll remember all my life. My Sanskrit teacher wrote a line from Bhagavad Gita, which I didn't understand at that time. Nahi kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati, the statement from the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavan tells Arjuna, oh Arjuna, a doer of good never comes to grief. So goodness is the most vital. Kalyana krit kaschit. Kalyana, the word is used in Sanskrit. Kalyana means goodness. Goodness in any form. If you can't do anything, can't you pray to people that everybody should be happy? It doesn't cost you anything. Raise your heart in prayer and pray that the entire world should be one. Yasya bhavatyekaniidam. All the world becomes one small nest. This was the vision of the Vedic seers, and that is being revived in this modern age, in the modern way, but the ancient thing is becoming energized through these various books which have been released just now. So I'm extremely delighted and happy. The way these girls chanted the Taittiriya Upanishad, it's so elevating. So it is possible. We always say, oh, nothing can happen now. When you open the newspapers and the television, oh, nothing can happen. The world is so bad, etc. The world is not at all bad. There are some few people who may be wicked and bad. That was there even in Puranas and the Mahishasuras, etc. But what is the problem is, we were just discussing with revered Swami Maharaj, what is the problem is that good people do not have conviction in the powers of goodness as much as wicked people have in the power of wickedness. Good people are not good. Good people are goody-goody. They are good by default. Why is it that they are good? They are afraid not to be good. I will be good because I'm convinced goodness is the thing. Even if you cut me to pieces, I will be good, I will be truthful, I will be unselfish. That is the courage that goodness gives you. Goodness gives you courage, goodness gives you strength, goodness gives you purity and elevation. And I am offering my respectful pranams to revered Madhusudan Sai Maharaj and Sathya Sai Baba, whose subtle presence is being felt here at every moment. Whenever I come to this hall, his subtle presence is felt. As Swami Vivekananda said, I may cast out this body as a worn-out garment, but I shall not cease to work. I will inspire men everywhere till the world shall know that it is one with God. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Swamiji, for gracing us with your presence this evening. Every time you address us, you leave us inspired and wanting for more. Thank you for your profound wisdom, your humor, and very engaging talk. We now request Professor Terence Lovat to address all of us. Professor Terence Lovat is a Professor Emeritus at the University of Newcastle and an Honorary Research Fellow at the University of Oxford. With numerous academic books and over 200 journal articles to his name, Professor Lovat has worked on the Australian government's National Framework for Values Education and is considered a pioneer in values education internationally. Professor Terence Lovat, please.
Thank you to the organisers of this event and to all of you who've been here. It's been more than an honour for me to be here. I've just been reflecting today on, I guess, what this has done for me personally. So if I can speak in those tones for just a few moments. I mentioned in my talk today about Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, the Persian Muslim scholar of the Middle Ages, who wrote volumes on the learning sciences. He's one of a handful of people that I look to in our past as a guide to what learning is all about, what knowledge is all about, and therefore how education should be structured, what should be its goals, how the process of education should work best. I mentioned then how well his philosophy of knowledge and of learning and his understanding of young people's minds, and therefore how to go best about the business of education, and especially for the very young, was so remarkably in accord with the most updated brain science findings that we have available to us today. Again, he's one of a handful of remarkable sages through the ages and across traditions. I could quote scholars from the ancient Greeks, the ancient Arabs, all of the major religious traditions, and indeed in more recent times, particularly in the 20th century, non-religious scholars who just seem to have understood what knowledge was about, how learning should proceed, how young people's minds work, what's important in education, what should be the priorities, And really, until the last few years, none of them had access to the findings of neuroscience, of the sort that I also shared today in the form of Darshan Navaz's moral education. That the priority, if you want the mind of the young person to be in the right space, is to provide the safe and secure environment. That values are absolutely paramount, not as some marginal extra once you've got, the important business of education done, but they're the bedrock of it. That's where you start. And then to tease out the values that are there in the curriculum, the understandings that you can generate among young people through whatever it might be, history, science, languages, whatever. The great irony, and for me, the extraordinary frustration, is to see that those who had no access to those scientific findings, including from thousands of years ago, somehow or other just understood, got it. And in many cases, like Pythagoras, like Azali, set up education systems that reflected those understandings. And yet here we are today with brain science findings coming at us at about the same pace as cosmological insights are coming at us. And yet we have systems of education across the world that steely-like ignore them. That's a huge frustration for me. And for someone who's given so much of his time to values-based education and seen the effects firsthand, it is at times, I'll admit, a tad dispiriting. And that's why this event, for me, is so important. It's so heartening to see that there are parts of the world, communities, structures, institutions that do understand and indeed are putting their money where their mouth is. So I guess it's but for me to say again, thank you. Thank you to the organisers who invited me and giving me the great honour of speaking to you. Thank you as an audience that has been so remarkably receptive. And finally, thank you to Sathya Sai. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Terence Lovat, for your kind words. We extend a token of our appreciation to Professor Terence Lovat. Scintillating and insightful talks like that of Swami Atmapriyananda, Professor Terence Lovat just now, or the talks by the various luminaries and speakers always serve as an inspiration for us to selflessly serve the children of the world. This evening, the team that worked tirelessly towards writing these 15 books that were launched earlier are here with us, and we would like to extend our gratitude to them. The team consists of volunteers from diverse backgrounds, from homemakers to teachers to authors who are passionate about teaching and inculcating these values in children. And we will call upon each one of them to receive their certificate of appreciation. Ms. Lily Joseph, Ms. Anupreet Kaur, Dr. Neerja Sharma, Dr. Aarti Gangurde, Dr. Prajakta Medekar,
Dr. Prachi Chaudhary, Dr. Vishakha Bhalerao, Ms. Smita Jadhav, Ms. Anandi Hemant Kumar, Ms. Ranjini Satyan,
Ms. Parnika Pavanram, Ms. Nandini Menon, Ms. Sai Viji, Ms. Suma Palachandra, Ms. Subbalakshmi S,
Ms. Girija Venkatesh, Ms. Prashanti Goswami, Ms. Vidya R, Ms. Sangeeta Naidu, Dr. Dattatreya Tapkir,
Dr. Santosh Kirade, Mr. Krishna Mohan, Mr. Hemant BP, Mr. Nagadatta Prabhakar, Mr. Girish S. May we now quickly invite the whole team back on stage for a group photograph.
We now request Shri B.N. Narasimhamurthy, Chancellor, Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, to deliver the closing remarks on the Global Education Conference 2023.
I offer my loving salutations at the feet of Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai Maharaj, in the words of our great enlightened Swamiji. Who is transforming goody-goody people into really good people in at least 30 countries. Pranam Swami. Spiritual and educational leaders seated on the stage, brothers and sisters from many parts of the world, very dear students, boys and girls. Thank you for that very profound talk, enlightening talk, Swamiji. Also, I thank Professor Terence Lowett for that very structured talk. I will come to that a little later. Very rightly, Swamiji, Atma Priyanandaji, who is so rooted in the spiritual lore of our great country, and more importantly, the spiritual experience which exudes in his personality, very rightly pointed out, according to Indian thought, when we say educating the heart, what are we educating? There are three hearts, according to Indian parlance. The first is the physical heart, second is the emotional heart, and third is the spiritual heart. In fact, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba and Sri Ramana Maharshi equated the word Hridaya, heart, only with the Atma and nothing else, all the time. The physical heart cannot be educated. Spiritual heart does not need education. It is only the emotional heart which needs to be educated so that the spiritual heart is aroused. That was the theme of this Global Education Conference. And on behalf of our students, teachers, and administrators, I would like to say that they say that we are very, very grateful to many eminent educational thought leaders who came over here and enlightened us. All of you have affirmed and confirmed that we at the Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence and the Gurukulam group of institutions are walking in the right direction with the inspiration of Sadguru Madhusudan Sai. It has affirmed that we are walking because that is truly the education which is the basis, that is truly the philosophy of education, first given by Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba to the world and now enriched and perfected by Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, which our teachers are trying to implement in practice in the university and all our schools. And that has been we can say that it has been very, very successful. With my experience in the field of education for nearly 60 years, because I became a warden at our Sathya Sai institution at Alike when I was 20 years. I have seen a lot of progression in the education, the educational philosophy, beginning with Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Many people think it is a change, that Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai is changing the philosophy of education which was given by Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Absolutely no. When you take the next higher step, you call it a change. You don't call it a change. It is a progress. It is natural progression. Therefore, all the eminent educationists who came here and spoke here have really given us a lot of confidence that we are walking in the right direction. Also, Professor Terence Lowett, he spoke of structuring and universalizing values education. It's a very important thing. Without religious terminology, even without spiritual terminology, is it possible to teach values? The emphatic answer is yes. This is what Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai has done in creating this wonderful band of ladies and our friends, gentlemen who came here. They worked so hard for many, almost 3-4 years, they worked very hard to bring out these books. Be good, say good, do good, nothing of religion, nothing of spirituality. These books can be prescribed for values education anywhere in the world as they are, without any modifications, because they talk about only compassion, empathy, discipline in one's life, self-restraint, and good rapport, cultivating good rapport with our peers and people around. In this context, I would like to conclude by quoting Sidney Harris, a very great educational thinker from America. He was a journalist, unfortunately. He said the purpose of all education is to convert mirrors into window glasses. See, it's a very profound statement. To convert mirrors into window glasses. Suppose you look into a mirror, you see yourself. When you look through the window glass, you see the whole world. That is the true purpose of education. This forward movement, progression, evolution from egocentric nature to Atmic-centric nature. See, that is from individual consciousness to universal consciousness. And I said that Sadhguru Madhusudan Sai is converting goody people into good people. How? With this, his emphatic reinterpretation, which is absolutely relevant for modern times, of two great, wonderful, divine words, that is God and spirituality. According to Sadhguru Madhusudan Sai, he learned from Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. After Baba left the body, in a conversation, Baba told him, I am absolute love and complete selflessness. Therefore, that interpretation is what transforms. Goody people are those who only think, who only speak good. Good people are those who think good and do good. See, that happens when you understand God. If you want to approach God, if you want to realize God, one and the only way is to develop such pure, unsullied, selfless love. And only way to please God, spirituality, definition of spirituality is nothing but selfless service. These are the definitions which are required for the word. These are the definitions which Sadhguru is teaching to our students, teachers, devotees, and followers all over the world. See, that is how they are transformed into really good people from goody people. Partha naiveha namutra vinashastasya vidyate nahi kaschit kalyanakrit durgatim tata gacchati. That is what Swamiji said. There is no ruin. Nothing bad can happen to a good person. See, this is the assurance given by God in the Bhagavad Gita. Partha naiveha namutra. Oh Partha, neither here nor anywhere else, any other world you go, nothing bad can happen to you. This is the assurance for everyone, and that is the assurance which God is giving to every one of us through Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai. With these words, I conclude and pray to Sadhguru Madhusudan Sai for his benedictory message, valedictory message. Thank you very much.
Saint Tyagaraja said, Yandaro Mahanubhavalu Andariki Vandanamu. There are so many great beings. My salutations to all. And I am so grateful to Swami Atmapriyananda ji. Despite all the odds with his health, he came to bless this audience and also give his valuable insights into the need of the hour, which is to believe in goodness and follow it in every sphere of life with absolute conviction. And along with him, Sarvottamananda ji Swami, his presence here and his thoughts in the morning has definitely added value to our thinking process as well. Professor Rajput, who has headed the National Council for Educational Research and Training, and now he is an active member of our organization in promoting values-based education, was talking to me in the morning, and he mentioned that it's important that these books that we launched just now are made available to everyone through, like Professor Lowat said, a structured system across the country and then universalizing it at some point in time to help more people in the world to learn and practice these values. And Professor Lowat, I'm assuring you, you will go back a happy man from Sathya Sai Grama, leaving all your frustrations behind, because we are at it. We are on job. And surely what you have done with your time, your resources, your life will never go waste. It always that we do anything that we do here. Neha Bikrama Nashosti Patyavayona Vidyate Swalpamapyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. Again, another assurance of Lord Sri Krishna Bhagavad Gita, that whatever good endeavor we undertake in this world for the welfare of all, for our own personal welfare, none of it gets wasted. It will have its effect in due course of time. So we never get disappointed, even though we work hard to ensure that what we are doing reaches to more and more people. But Kalena Atmani Vindati, again, it happens with time. I think the time has come when so many heads and hearts have come together to discuss and deliberate and also put it into actionables in the coming times. And I'm sure value education will be the way forward. And I'm looking forward to working with every one of you who has contributed immensely in their own countries, in their own schools and colleges in the field of value education. So we are very grateful as an institution for all of you to have come and given your valuable time and your insights. Today is also National Doctors' Day, and we had a session on doctors or medical education, how to bring empathy, compassion, the human side of it. And we are very grateful to the doctors, who some of them are still here, who have shared their valuable insights. And we also have a medical school which is going to start from this year. And we hope to produce God-like doctors from this institution. And we look forward to your constant association and guidance towards that. We also had session on mental health. I call it the elephant in the room. Cannot be ignored anymore. And that is something that is happening because of the kind of education and the upbringing that is going on at this point of time. A few years ago, we never heard of some diseases. We never had issues like mental health. People were generally happy and healthy. But today we know of so many new diseases, both physical as well as mental. And that is the gift of bad education. And we need to correct that, and that is the root cause of all things. And once we correct that, things will automatically fall into place. That's our conviction. So thank you so much for sharing all your insights this morning. And we are working on a curriculum on mental health as well, which is starting from this year. And this is in association with NIMHANS as well as Empower. And from this August, this course for a bachelor's in mental health is starting, and many people are already applying for it. I hope we can bring out people who are very well aware, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually, of what goes on inside and outside us, so that we can address this problem in a much broader and deeper way. We look forward to your association there as well. I have nothing much to add other than what Swamiji has said, all of you have heard, except that unless we all work together, it's difficult to solve the problems of the world. And that is what Swamiji was also telling, that we have to collaborate and work together. It's not possible if only one organization or one government or a few individuals try to do it. It may have its effect, and definitely nothing will be wasted, but will it have enough effect to change and transform or tilt the balance is the question we have to ask. And for that sake, we must all come together, work together. These books are truly a labor of love. Through the COVID times, these people who contributed, and they worked silently without giving any trouble to me, at least, asking any questions or troubling me, but they worked silently. I reviewed all the books. I found it very interesting, and I think it's going to be a great help to all the teachers who want to participate in this value education program in India as well as in all parts of the world. And we have kept it open. Knowledge can never be sold. That is our understanding. Education has to be free, should not be commercialized. Vidya is dana. It's not a business. It's charity, or it's sharing. And therefore, these books are available to all online. You can download it as PDFs. You can use the training. There is a manual for teachers. You can use that manual to utilize this knowledge. You can also modify it, customize it to suit your culture, your countries. That way, we will be able to use it much better. So that's my request to all the teachers and everybody else who is participating in this program. The most important value that we have to teach everybody is love. As Kabir Das ji puts it very simple. Poti padi padi jagmua, pandit bhayana koe, dhai akar prem ka pade so pandit hoye. People in the world keep reading books after books after books, trying to know the truth, trying to know what is to be learnt. But nobody becomes a scholar by simply reading books. However, the one who understands this 2.5-lettered word, prema, in Hindi that would be prema, or you can say the 4-lettered L-O-V, love. That person is the true scholar. And that love is the essence of all life. And in every action, every thought, and every word, if we can infuse pure, unconditional, unselfish love, as teachers, as parents, as educationists, as the members of the community, I think that's sufficient to change the world. And it's not for us to preach, but it's for us to practice. And Swami Vivekananda also always said, an ounce of practice is far more valuable than tons of preaching. And that practice is what is demanded of us as teachers, educationists, as thought leaders. If we practice, seeing us, somebody will get inspired. And then it goes from there. Yeah, our Bhagavad Gita says, Yadyada charati shreshtaha tattad deveta rojanaha. As the noble people conduct themselves in the society, others get inspired by that and they follow suit. So it's basically role modeling. That is what is value education all about. We need role models in every sphere, be it primary education, higher education, collegiate education, medical education, mental health education, or any kind of education. That happens only when there are role models in the society. And this role modeling is something that is our responsibility, a collective responsibility to set the right ideals in front of the next generation, help them become like us, in the sense doing the same thing as we have taught them to do. The most important crisis that children are facing at this point of time is they're unable to make the right choices, right decisions. And they always get confused. Many children come and tell me, and then I tell them, see, always choose good over the pleasant. That is what even Upanishad says. Kathopanishad, Sheyascha, Preyascha, Manushya Metat, Pau Samparitya Vivinakti Dhiraha. A wise one discriminates between what is pleasant or pleasurable versus what is really good. And choosing good every time, again and again and again, makes you capable of choosing good spontaneously, naturally at all times. You don't have to even go through an analysis or thought process. You instinctively or intuitively, you choose good. And that habit to choose to do good all the time needs to be inculcated in all the students. And that can happen only as we teachers and educationists learn to choose to do good all the time. And that is something that we have to teach the next generation, and that cannot be taught by mere preaching. Of course, these books, curriculum, pedagogy, assessment, all these are required. Structure is required, but the soul of the entire value education is role modeling by loving our children and always doing good fearlessly. As I was mentioning, to me, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba told, you do 3 things. Be selfless, be fearless, and be shameless when it comes to doing good. And that's how we have to be good in this world. We have to be selfless when we do good. No good is good if it's only for our own good. It's for everybody's good, then that's the real good. We have to do it selflessly, fearlessly. We are afraid of being good. What will others think? What will others say? This is not how others behave. They will single me out. You start feeling shy and diffident. You feel like a minority, and then you feel afraid. This fear must go away when we are trying to do good. So fearless good is the second good. And third is shameless good, which comes to the fact that whether anybody else is doing or not, anybody else appreciates it or not, I'll still be good, I'll still see good, I will still do good. So that is the essence of these books. Goodness as the most important value, which is born out of love for everyone, should be the way for the humankind, the way forward. We have very carefully crafted this book to suit all people across the world and not make it a very narrow or limited in its approach. And I insist that our teachers in our institutions, as well as teachers from around the world, would utilize these books and would also, by their own personal example, are going to teach how to be good, how to see good, and how to do good all the time. Not one day, not 2 days, all through our lives, every moment, in every situation. If we are capable of being, seeing, and doing good, I think we will do a great job as educationists. So a lot of responsibilities on our shoulders, and there is a lot of opportunity in the world because the world has the largest young population at this point of time. And they all need to know this, they need to hear this. And I also request the policymakers, the governments, to provide the teachers the necessary time, resources for conducting these programs. If we make it as a part of their already busy schedules, it will be very difficult for the teachers to implement these things. But if we provide them a little more time and little more resources to execute these programs, I think then we will be able to truly do justice to these programs. This morning, we also had a very detailed deliberation with a lot of people who have come from around the world, and we have come to a conclusion that it's time to have a global platform to approach value education in a structured way. And therefore, I hope with all the thinking that you all have done this morning, we will come to a conclusion soon. And before the next Global Education Conference, we will have a structure in place where we all can contribute our ideas, our methodologies, pedagogies to implement these ideas. And we will come out with a very universal curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment program, which will help everybody across the world. I cannot say that if my children are good, my country is good, I'm okay. No. We are so intertwined. Our collective good is necessary. And whether I am from this country or that country, the child, I always say, is a world citizen. And the responsibility of raising the child right is everybody's responsibility, not just that of the parents or that school or that community or the country. It's the world's responsibility to raise every child right. That is when you create a better world. With this prayer that Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkhamapnuyat. Let everybody be happy, may everybody be healthy, may everybody see, do, and be good. And may no one have any sorrow. We are working towards creating that kind of world, and I truly appreciate every one of your efforts in making that happen, and I'm sure in our lifetimes we'll see a better world, the world that Swami Vivekananda dreamt of, Satya Sai Baba dreamt of, you and I dream of. That is the world we should create, and we should not take too much time. We should do it very much in our lifetime so that this generation and the next will benefit. This is the legacy we want to leave behind. Once again, thanking everyone for participating, and special thanks to Swamiji for coming all the way. And we look forward to working together and make that vision, that dream of Swami Vivekananda and such luminaries come true. With this commitment and effort, we close this conference. So, samasta lokaha sukhino bhavantu.
With this, we conclude the Global Education Conference 2023. Thank you all very much. Sai Ram.